Hello again from the Maniac Guy up here in Maine. Nice to have you guys along. So today we're going to talk about the one-shot zero. This is the third video in a series that we've done, I guess. So the first one was how to mount the scope and how to torque it down and level it out. Second one was on how to do the bore sighting. And now this one, hopefully that bore sighting worked and it all is as it should be. And I got a target set up at 25 yards. We lased it out with my SIG rangefinder here. It's a SIG Kilo. Maybe I'll do a video on that later on down the road. And we're going to take a single shot and see how we do, and then I'll walk you through the process as we do this. So the very first thing you need is you need some sort of a solid gun vise to put it in. It doesn't have to be a lead sled or anything super expensive like that. Pretty much the only time, I think I spent around $30 on this one. Just a kind of run-of-the-mill. I don't even remember where I picked it up, and I've used it over the years and done everything from a 300 Winchester Magnum on down to 22s like this one on this. But it's very important that you have something that can lock this gun in so that when you take the shot, you don't change the positioning of the weapon, and I'll show you why here in a minute. So with that being said, and without further ado, so to say, let's load her up. And the safety's off, weapon's chambered, and I'm going to aim dead center of the target and take a shot. Okay. All right, let's go down and have a look, see what she looks like. All right, so here we are downrange. This was our target, and don't be disheartened that there's nothing on it. We had to look at it for a minute. Our hole is right here. And like I said, bore sighting it isn't gonna necessarily put it directly where you want. And sometimes if you're doing it at a further range, like if you're doing a 50-yard zero or something like that, you might want to use a bigger, like a body silhouette, or a big, I've used big old calendar pages, like from a desk calendar, from an expired calendar, or something like that. Really, you only need a point of aim, and you need to see where your hole is. And so now we'll head back to the table, and I'll tell you guys what comes next, but that's our hole that we're working with right there. Alrighty, so we just got back from being downrange and looking to see where our hole is. So now what we're going to do is I've unscrewed my scope caps, and I'm actually going to take, and this is the part where it's so important that the gun is in a vise. So now I'm going to get down on this vise, and I'm going to sight it in. I'm going to put my crosshairs right at the dead center of that target where they were before. And I'm not going to move the gun at all, but I am going to move the crosshairs. I'm going to take and I'm going to move the crosshairs of the scope to now line up on the hole that I just made that was low left on the target. If everything works right, and this is it's not alchemy, it's science, so it should, because ballistics are ballistics are ballistics. And if we line up the crosshairs on the hole we just made, now we're aligning that with our center bore. So that's now going to be a zeroed rifle. So, all right, let's cut out for a minute, and I'll line this sucker up, and then we'll take another shot, and we'll see if this all works out. Okay, so now we've taken and we've adjusted our crosshairs to now put on the hole that we made. So let's insert the magazine. And I don't expect this to be perfect. These are about as cheap of federal rounds as you can get. But again, this is a 22, so if I ever want to re-zero it with more expensive ammo that's going to shoot tighter groups or anything like that, then great. But hopefully this is somewhere near center target. So rounds chambered, safety's off. Let's aim at the center of this target and see what we get. Okay, going hot. Okay guys, so here we are. So we're a couple of clicks to the left of where we want to be. This is the access point I was trying to get us zeroed on. I'm going to be honest, it was a little tough to see that hole in the white just with that optic that I've got. So now we'll kind of repeat the same process, and we'll go to this guy right here. I actually did this with a friend of mine, Corey, a couple of weeks ago, and we actually did his 6.5 Creedmoor, and you know, just as slick as with anything else, you know, you've got a more precise rifle with bigger holes, and one shot, the one-shot zero definitely took it home. This is putting us pretty much where we want to be, but we'll have it in one more shot. Let's go make it happen. Alrighty, we used the same process, and we just click adjusted to the left because we got our elevation perfect on that first one. So I guess we're not quite at the one-shot zero phase at this point, but we'll go for a two-shot zero. And We'll try it one more time and we'll see where we're at now. That did it. All right, guys. Well, let's go have a look. Okay, guys, so here we are now. So let's get the camera right in there nice and tight. That's our hole now. So, okay, we were almost a single shot zero. It was actually a 2-shot before we got zeroed. Just trying to give you guys the most honest viewing experience that I can. And the reality is, you know, like I said, that was a little bit of operator error on my part. I was having a hard time seeing this hole and overcorrected by a couple of clicks when I was trying to get over here. So the reality is, there's your 1-shot zero, or in this case 2-shot zero. You got to admit though, compared to what you're normally going to spend when you come out here and you do this kind of setup, this is pretty darn efficient. So there's your 1-shot, or 2-shot zero at this point. This 22 is now zeroed at 25 yards, and that's the process. So we appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and hopefully showing you a few things that'll help you out down the road. So happy shooting, guys. And if you are a deer hunter, we're coming up on November, so happy hunting, and stay safe out there, guys. And as always, thanks for joining, and until next time, have a good one. Bye now.